100 videos in, and we're still picking apart the cartoons that you all grew up watching. Today, we're dissecting cartoons' most iconic grub with actual science. No myths, just facts. So get ready, as you're all about to get educated to the high heavens. Let's start with the big one. Basically, the holy grail. The Krabby Patty is a burger made of a frozen patty with lettuce, onions, tomatoes, sea cheese, pickles, mustard, and ketchup. The show reveals that the secret formula contains flour, turmeric, barnacle shavings, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of chum. Creator Steven Hillenburg confirmed that the patty itself is vegetarian, and SpongeBob himself says love is an essential ingredient. King Neptune's patties were absolutely disgusting because perfect patties are made with love, not magic. The secret formula is where the ingredients are listed, and Plankton has been trying to steal it for decades. The bloody microscopic organism. While another episode suggests that it's a mix of random nonsense, the actual ingredients include chopped carrot, chopped onion, vinegar, cooking oil, and egg yolk in the patty batter.
4 heaping pounds of freshly ground plankton?
Characters react to the Krabby Patty with absolute f***ing ecstasy. Every geezer in the Bikini Bottom craves them. In the episode Just One Bite, Squidward refuses to try one for years, but when he finally does, he becomes bloody addicted. He eats so much that he goes into a coma. The entire town even goes mad when the Krusty Krab is closed.
And all who enjoy them to an early and well-deserved grave! Still alive!
The texture of the Krabby Patty itself is so bloody inconsistent. Sometimes it's perfectly solid, while other times it's so juicy that it melts right in your mouth. It's definitely greasy, but not in an unpleasant way. The buns are soft, the cheese is melted, and the patty has a distinct umami flavor. It's closest to a really good plant-based burger with a slight oceanic funk from the seaweed. The secret sauce is probably a mix of ketchup, mustard, pickles, and mayonnaise. The science of why everyone loves it comes down to addiction. The combination of fat, salt, and sugar triggers your brain's reward system. It releases dopamine and makes you crave more. The Krabby Patty is hyper palatable, as it hits every single taste receptor perfectly. But the show contradicts itself about what it actually is. In one episode, the formula is treated as a sacred secret. In another, it's implied that Mr. Krabs and Plankton created it by accident together as kids.
Well, that's ruined. But no use letting this go to waste. These kids will eat anything.
The consistency also changes because sometimes it's a standard burger, while other times it glows or produces supernatural effects. The show has revealed multiple versions, including the Jelly Patty with jellyfish jelly, Pretty Patties with food coloring, and the Chum Patty, which is just a chum between the buns. It's bloody impossible to nail those down scientifically. If you actually ate a Krabby Patty in real life, you would taste a dense source of iodine from the seaweed. The seaweed buns would be incredibly salty with that distinctive oceanic funk that puts most people off. The sea cheese would be a fermented product, probably tangy and sharp like aged cheddar, but with a fishy undertone. The secret sauce would probably be quite sweet and tangy. It would be a perfectly balanced burger. But here's the truth, as the Krabby Patty isn't just a food, but an idea. It's the perfect burger that exists only in our collective imagination. The real secret formula isn't about what's in it, but rather about what it represents. The perfect meal made with love and served by a fry cook who genuinely gives a damn. Now, let's talk about Scooby Snacks. These are small bone-shaped biscuits that Shaggy and Scooby eat constantly, and the show never gives a full ingredients list. They're simply presented as dog treats that Shaggy also eats. That's a human with the appetite of, well, a stoner, and he goes through them like they're gourmet crisps. Scooby goes absolutely mental for them, as he'll do anything for a Scooby Snack. He will solve mysteries, face ghosts, and betray his own principles. The reaction is simply pure euphoria, as they're clearly addictive to both humans and canines. The texture appears crunchy because the snack makes a distinct snapping sound when bitten. They're dry and biscuit-like, and they're really not greasy at all. Producer William Hanna always imagined that a Scooby Snack would taste like a caramel-flavored cookie. So the Scooby Snack is closest to a caramel cookie shaped like a bone.
Would you do it for a Scooby Snack? Okay, 2 it is.
The show contradicts itself slightly because sometimes they're treated as bloody regular dog treats and other times they seem to have the most magical properties. In some episodes, Scooby Snacks are used as a reward system, while in others, they're just a snack that Shaggy eats without any hesitation. And the lad never questions why he's eating dog food. The show never explains why they're so appealing to humans. Shaggy just loves them. The real-world version of Scooby Snacks actually exists. Keebler Company came out with Scooby-Doo branded graham crackers, or graham crackers. I don't know, they're an American thing. Shaped like bones, with Scooby's name etched into each single one. They come in cinnamon and honey flavors, and are for humans, as sausages make the official brand Scooby Snacks dog treats. So you can eat the human version or the actual dog treat version. The science behind dog treats explains why Shaggy might like them. Dog treats are made from bone meal, meat byproducts and grains. They're designed to smell bloody incredible to a canine nose because they're loaded with amino acids that dogs crave, but they have a bland, chalky texture for humans. They lack the salt and sugar that makes human food taste so good. So if you eat the pet food version, you're eating a very expensive dry sand cracker, but the show never confirms that the Scooby Snacks are made of dog food ingredients. They could be human grade treats that just happen to be shaped like bones. William Hanna's vision of them being caramel cookies suggests that they were always meant to be delicious for humans too. The psychological aspect is important because Shaggy's been eating these things for years. His brain associates them with exceptional. It's like how beer tastes better after a long day's work. The Scooby Snack is not just a snack, but rather it's a symbol of adventure and friendship that makes it taste amazing, even if it's just compressed grain. The real question is why nobody else in the gang eats them, because Fred and Daphne have never tried it. Either way, Shaggy remains blissfully ignorant, munching away on his dog treats, while the rest of us wonder if he's secretly part canine himself. Now, a classic. Let's talk about Popeye's spinach. This is canned spinach that Popeye eats straight from the bloody tin. The show reveals that it gives him superhuman strength. He eats a can and immediately gains the ability to punch sharks, bend steel bars, and perform feats of strength. The ingredients are very simple because it's literally just spinach. There's no special additives, it's just plain canned spinach. Popeye reacts with determination because when he squeezes the can, the spinach shoots into his mouth and he instantly transforms. His muscles bulge and he becomes invincible. The texture is slimy and mushy. It's also wet and salty. It's not crunchy at all. And it's closest to actual canned spinach, which is notoriously unappealing. The show is consistent about its effect. Spinach always gives Popeye strength, and there's no contradiction there. The science behind spinach is bloody fascinating, but it doesn't give you super strength. 1 cup of raw spinach contains 2,813 international units of vitamin A, which is 56% of your daily value. It also contains 145 micrograms of vitamin K, which is 108 of your daily value. It has 0.8 milligrams of iron, which is 5% of your daily value. The common myth is that a scientist misplaced a decimal point in 1870 when calculating the iron content of spinach. This story has been debunked because a recent study has shown this is a fucking myth. The creator of Popeye, LZ Chrysler cigar, chose spinach because of its high vitamin A content, not iron. A 1932 Popeye comic strip attributed his strength to vitamin A, specifically vitamin A. The decimal point myth only started in 1981 when a doctor made a humorous reference to Popeye in the British Medical Journal. Popeye eats it out of a can, which is absolutely grim. Canned spinach is slimy, salty, and slightly metallic. Realistically, if you ate a can of plain, unseasoned spinach, you'd feel like you were eating wet grass clippings that had been left in the bloody rain. The texture is mushy, while the flavour is earthy and bitter. The overall experience is something you would only subject yourself to if you were trying to impress a nutritionist. But the reason Popeye can down an entire can without flinching is probably because he's been doing it for so long that he's completely desensitized to the taste. Consumption of spinach shot up by 33% in the United States between 1931 and 1936 as Popeye gained in popularity. Spinach growing communities erected statues in honor of Popeye. The nitrate content in spinach is converted to nitric acid in your bloodstream. This dilates blood vessels and improves circulation, and this can enhance athletic performance by increasing oxygen delivery to the muscles. Spinach is also loaded with flavonoids, which act as antioxidants. Researchers have discovered at least 13 different flavonoid compounds that act as anti-cancer substances. So while you don't suddenly become able to bench press a ship, you might be able to run a bit further or lift a bit heavier. It's a performance enhancer, just not a very dramatic one. There's also the psychological aspect. Popeye eats spinach and immediately feels stronger because he believes he is stronger. The placebo effect is powerful because Popeye's spinach is not just a food, but also a belief system. The man has found his thing, and he's sticking to it. If you actually lived in the land of Oo, one of the biggest ethical dilemmas wouldn't be fighting the lich. It would be deciding whether that bloke made of raspberry jelly counts as dessert. The Candy Kingdom is absolutely packed with bloody walking sweets. You've got Peppermint Butler, Mr. Cupcake, Cinnamon Bun, and about 500 other sugary weirdos wandering around like they're not one hot afternoon away from becoming pudding. When your brain starts asking the question Cartoon Network definitely didn't want you asking, what would they actually taste like? If you ignore the whole tiny detail that they're living people, the Candy Kingdom is basically one big sweet shop.
Citizens, we are assembled here in the candy foyer for a momentous announcement.
Let's start with the easiest victims, the rock candy citizens. Real rock candy is almost pure crystallized sucrose. That's ordinary table sugar dissolved in water until it becomes a super saturated solution. Then, left for several days, while giant sugar crystals start slowly growing around a stick. The result is ridiculously hard, crunchy, and almost painfully sweet. If a Candy Kingdom citizen were genuinely made from that stuff, biting into them would probably feel like chewing bloody glass that dissolves into syrup. Sugar crystals also don't melt immediately, so every bite would scrape against your teeth before dissolving. Your pancreas would be working overtime trying to deal with that absolute sugar apocalypse. Now, think about the softer citizens. Marshmallow people will probably feel pretty bloody light and squishy because real marshmallows are mostly whipped sugar syrup with gelatin and tiny air bubbles. Around half the volume is literally trapped air, which explains why they're so fluffy. Cake people would be much richer, filled with starch from flour, fat from butter, and plenty of sugar, giving them that bloody soft crumb that everyone loves. Cinnamon Bun would somehow be the most normal meal in the kingdom, assuming he stopped talking long enough for anyone to consider eating him, which is already a sentence that deserves bloody prison time. The funniest part is that the Candy Kingdom would also be a nutritional disaster. Most sweets are almost entirely carbohydrates with very little protein, healthy fats, or even any fiber. They provide loads of quick energy because glucose is the body's favorite fuel, but that energy disappears just as quickly when insulin pulls the sugar out of your bloodstream. Constantly eating candy people would probably leave you exhausted, bloody hungry, and visiting the dentist more often than your own family. Your teeth would be under constant attack because bacteria in your mouth absolutely love sugar. They convert it into acid that slowly dissolves tooth enamel, which is exactly why dentists keep telling everyone to stop inhaling sweets like a vacuum cleaner. So what does the Candy Kingdom actually taste like? Probably amazing for the first 5 minutes. Every street would smell like a bloody bakery. Every citizen would look delicious, and every meal would feel like visiting the world's greatest sweet shop. Then, reality kicks you square in the face. Even ignoring the ethics, living entirely on sugar would absolutely wreck your body. Your blood sugar would bounce around like BMO after 6 cups of coffee. Your teeth would surrender immediately, and you'd be desperate for a proper meal before the bloody day was over. And finally, the worst of the worst, the absolute bottom of the bloody barrel. Plankton's Chum Bucket serves chum. The show reveals it as vile green slop that makes everyone in Bikini Bottom retch. The ingredients are not fully disclosed, but it's implied to be fish bait. Chum is used by fishermen to attract saltwater fish. It's made from fish parts, heads, organs, blood and bones ground up into a greasy paste. Characters react with absolute disgust. They take one bite and immediately vomit. They describe it as tasting horrible, and they avoid the Chum Bucket at all costs. The texture is sloppy, unappealing, it's wet, greasy, and it's not crunchy at all. It's closest to actual chum, which is made of fish meal and fish oil. The show is consistent about its terribleness. Nobody likes it, and it's the worst food in Bikini Bottom.
What is it? Oh, who cares, silly McNilly? It's free! Oh, it's gonna be so good!
What?
The science of why chum is used for fishing is straightforward, because chum creates a scent trail in the water that attracts fish to the fishing boat. According to patents, chum is composed of fish meal and fish oil that creates a sufficient scent to attract the fish. It contains 1 to 70% fish meal and 0.1 to 2% fish oil. The purpose is to release scent in a controlled manner over a prolonged period of time. Real chum can include fish guts, blood meal, fish oil, clam juice, all sorts. It's designed to mimic the smell of injured or distressed prey. It triggers a feeding frenzy in predatory fish. So what does that mean for the taste? Imagine grinding up fish guts and leaving them in the sun. That's basically what chum is, and the show describes it as tasting absolutely horrible because your body is hardwired to reject rotting meat. The smell alone would trigger your gag reflex before you even got it near your bloody mouth. The ingredients in real chum are deeply unappealing for human consumption. Common chum ingredients include fish blood, fish guts, fish meal, fish oil, and shrimp meal. It can also contain binders like breadcrumbs, cornmeal, and instant mashed potatoes. The show portrays it as a bloody green slop. In reality, it's a greasy paste that smells like rotting fish. The taste would be intensely fishy, but not in a pleasant sashimi way. It would taste like something that's been sitting in the sun for 3 days. Your brain would immediately recognize it as toxic and try to expel it. That's why the customers in SpongeBob always look like they're about to die after taking a single bite. They're not being dramatic as they're experiencing a survival instinct that's screaming at them to stop.
There you are. I'm sure I've made a satisfied customer of you already.
That was appalling! What was in that?
Oh, just the usual ingredients.
Oh, barnacles, that's foul!
The business model of the Chum Bucket is a disaster because nobody wants to eat fish guts. The only reason the Krusty Krab wins is because they actually cook their food and use fresh ingredients. Plankton seems to have no understanding of basic culinary principles. He's a scientist, not a chef, and it shows. He creates elaborate machines to steal the Krabby Patty formula, but he can't be bothered to improve his own product. The Chum Bucket serves chum in a sloppy, unappealing mass, and it's no wonder everyone prefers the Krusty Krab. But there's a deeper lesson here, because sometimes the secret to success isn't a secret formula. Sometimes it's just doing the basics right. The Krabby Patty is a simple burger made well, while the Chum Bucket serves something that belongs in the ocean, not on a plate. So if you ever find yourself in Bikini Bottom, do yourself a favor and avoid the green slop. Your taste buds and your dignity will thank you. So there you have it. The Krabby Patty is a mystery, Scooby Snacks are caramel cookies, Spinach is healthy but not magical, Candy People are a sugar nightmare, and Chum is a crime against humanity. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button and subscribe. Here's to another 100 episodes. Cheerio!